Chainlink and the Link token is what we're going to be covering in this one, as Grayscale have just released their report titled The Link Between Worlds. Now, it really outlines, this is one of the most bullish articles that I've actually seen Grayscale publish, but it really outlines Link's kind of role in the world moving forwards. And actually, those of you that have listened to Sandy Cowell over at Franklin Templeton will know that she believes cryptos possess an immense opportunity in the fact that they are going to be protocols that underpin society moving forwards that can be monetized via their various tokens. And that's very different from some of the protocols that underpin the internet, the telecommunications industry, or perhaps the computing world that are open sourced, have similar properties in regards to how transformational they've been to humanity, but don't have a kind of monetization aspect to them. Barring companies perhaps that leverage them and service them. What we have now is essentially protocols like Link that have tokens, meaning you can directly own a bit of the protocol that are going to effectively underpin tomorrow's world. And that's what this Grayscale report really is all about. I'll give you the quick takeaway. This is literally from just yesterday. It's not even 24 hours off the press. Key takeaways. Chainlink is the critical connective tissue between crypto and traditional finance, between the on-chain world and the off-chain world. Grayscale believes that Chainlink's suite of software technologies will be central for many applications of blockchain technology, including tokenization and decentralized finance. Chainlink is commonly referred to as a crypto oracle, but it's better described as a modular middleware that lets on-chain applications safely use off-chain data, interact across blockchains, and meet enterprise-grade compliance needs. The project's Link token is the largest asset in the utilities and service crypto sector by market capitalization and the largest non-layer 1 token in crypto overall, excluding stablecoins. Because Chainlink serves multiple blockchains, not just one specific network, the Link token provides broad exposure to the crypto economy. This and other features make Link one of the most important assets to consider when constructing a diverse crypto portfolio in our view. Now, to be totally open, honest, and transparent, I do hold Link. It's one of my larger holdings, and it's for very much the reasons that they outline in this publication. Just quickly before we move on, it says public blockchain technology promises to transform digital money and digital finance by reducing the role of centralized intermediaries. But to make this vision a reality, blockchain must be connected to the real world. Almost all financial assets are off-chain, and at least over the short and medium term will need to be bridged to blockchain through the process of tokenization. Moreover, there are aspects of mainstream finance that are not going away, including regulatory compliance, dispute resolution, and customer service. So there will be a lasting role for certain types of intermediaries. That's where Chainlink comes in. Don't worry, we are going to explore this article in significantly more detail. For those of you that are wondering who the hell Grayscale are, perhaps you're living under a rock. They are one of the leaders in regards to crypto products. They offer over 40 plus investment products. They have $35 billion of assets under management. But they are effectively a juggernaut in the cryptocurrency space. Quickly, let's just recap on what real-world assets are and how tokenization works. And let's go to the horse himself, Sergey Nazarov, the founder of Chainlink, the co-founder of Chainlink, and hear him explain what's kind of going on here before we proceed with the report.
Real-world asset tokenization is an exciting shift in how tokenization technology interacts with data and assets in the real world, like real estate, gold, commodities, and anything real. Cryptocurrencies oftentimes use tokenization technology, but the thing they create, the cryptocurrency, is not tied to an underlying thing. Real-world asset tokenization, however, both tokenizes something real, like real estate, gold, equity, and it is also able to interact with data in useful ways with the help of things like Chainlink. So when you get a real-world asset token that's correctly constructed, you're getting both an ownership receipt for something in the real world, and the data about that thing is consistently being pushed into that smart contract. And so it's a big, big shift in how tokenization is used, both to transfer ownership of real things and how to prove things about that ownership.
That is effectively what Chainlink is doing. And the really interesting thing is that when you have the likes of Larry Fink saying that everything is going to move on chain and be tokenized, Chainlink is the enabler effectively, or a protocol akin to some of the protocols that you have that standardize the internet that will enable this internet of value that is coming. I understand price action right now, guys, sucks. You're talking to a large holder of cryptocurrencies who's been here for a long time and had to endure this volatility. But this is the reality of being an altcoin investor. And everybody wants the upside. Nobody's willing to sort of suffer the downside that comes with it. But this technology is on a very clear trajectory. And for me, and this is not financial advice, and nothing we say or do here is financial advice, Chainlink is very evidently going to be a key player in all of this. That is certainly my opinion, and Grayscale would concur. Let's dive in a little bit more into this article. Chainlink is the critical connective tissue between crypto and traditional finance. It can already be considered essential infrastructure in blockchain-based finance. In fact, it entirely enabled DeFi, because you couldn't have DeFi and smart contract execution, certainly cross-chain, or you couldn't bring off-chain data on-chain to enable DeFi without Chainlink. I mean, it really is a essential infrastructure in blockchain-based finance today. That's certainly the case, DeFi. In our view, and it's difficult to imagine how crypto can go mainstream without applying Chainlink's suite of software technologies, Chainlink's broad and likely increasing adoption, the token's straightforward approach to value accrual, and remember they have just announced their treasury, which continues to garner link, and its distinct features compared to other large crypto assets make Link a compelling addition to diversified crypto portfolios in our view. And this, of course, is Exhibit 1, and it talks about Chainlink and tokenization. I'll show you guys an example of Chainlink being that connective tissue, certainly in conjunction with literally the world's largest financial institutions, whether it's Swift, the premier messaging service that is using and utilizing or looking to use and utilize Chainlink, DTCC, Euroclear. DTCC is effectively how markets work. Equity markets, certainly US equity markets, they've got like a 90+% coverage as a clearinghouse. They're the people that effectively control the US equity markets and enable it. They're looking to tokenize. They'll need Chainlink to do that. And they're looking to do a host of other things that they'll potentially need Chainlink for. You've got Euroclear, and you've got a hell of a lot of other major players. Let's read how it's kind of acting as a bit of a connective tissue here. We're excited to announce major industry milestone in a global corporate action initiative led by Chainlink in collaboration with 24 of the world's largest financial organizations, including Swift, DTCC, Euroclear. It goes on to say corporate actions are a critical building block for public equity to operate successfully on chain. Building on the foundations established in the first phase of our industry initiative, we now have successfully demonstrated how the Chainlink platform, blockchains, and AI help solve one of finance's most complex data challenges in a production-grade solution with unparalleled data accuracy, ISO 20022 messaging functionality via Swift, connectivity across DTCC's app chain, as well as additional public and private blockchains, and much more. This is a very clear example of how Chainlink acts as a connective tissue. So Chainlink is effectively essential to what is very clear and obvious in regards to a trend moving forwards, and that is the tokenization of, quite frankly, ladies and gentlemen, everything. So to dive back to this article, we'll come down to Chainlink and tokenization. To understand Chainlink's technology and its potential future growth, consider its role in the process of tokenization. At some point, when blockchains are more widely adopted, securities may be issued and tracked entirely on-chain. But today, the beneficial ownership of securities, as well as real-world assets like real estate, physical commodities, and collectibles, is recorded on traditional off-chain ledgers, typically electronic book entry accounts. Tokenization refers to the process of registering asset ownership on blockchain infrastructure so that market participants can benefit from blockchain's functionalities. These benefits may include more efficient settlement, the ability to interact with smart contracts, and potentially lower costs For more background, see the tokenization revolution. We have looked at that previously. We expect Chainlink to play a critical role in orchestrating the process of tokenization, and it has announced a variety of partnerships, including with the S&P Global and the FTSE Russell, that should help it do so. It talks about the current market capitalizations and where tokenized assets are and how there's a real trajectory. It's going to engulf all industries effectively. And then I want to come down to a case study. This is the CRE case study, JP Morgan's Kinexy and Ondo Finance. In May to June 2025, Chainlink, JP Morgan, Kinexy, and Ondo Finance ran a cross-chain delivery versus payment DVP test. DVP means the asset and the cash settle at the same time. So neither parties end up delivering without getting paid. The asset leg used Ondo's tokenization treasury product, OUSG, on the Ondo chain testnet, and the payment leg ran on Kinexy's digital payments, a permissioned blockchain network, with both sides settling automatically. Chainlink's CRE handled the choreography. It maintained the OUSG escrow, confirmed events off-chain, turned them into payment instructions for Kinexy, authenticated via API, processed the payment callback, and then released the OUSG. The asset never left their home network, only the settlement instruction moved, showcasing CREs coordinating public chain assets with private chain infrastructure. The test demonstrates how Chainlink can enable secure, simultaneous settlements across chain. And here we have it. And this is all about Chainlink. I mean, the role that Chainlink is going to play literally is akin to one. You know, you talk about TCP and kind of tips on the internet. There's a kind of standard protocol for how the internet works. Chainlink is literally going to become that. The difference being is you can actually monetize it via the LINK token. And I think for me, that's bloody exciting. Let's play a final clip of Sergey, and then we'll finish with a conclusion from this report.
And the CCID-CCIP combination now allows you to move assets and data, as well as identity and compliance verification, which is really powerful because when the token arrives at the target destination and you want to exchange the token for some kind of asset, a tokenized fund or whatever asset, you can be faced with two scenarios. One scenario is, oh, thank you very much, we received your stablecoin. Now it's time for you to go through a 2-month verification process before we can conclude this transaction. Not a great user experience. The other option is, we received your stablecoin and our smart contracts automatically verified that you've already proven your identity 2 years ago via the verification of XYZ API for investor accreditation. And therefore, the smart contracts in about 2 to 5 seconds were able to conclude the transaction and send you back the tokenized fund over CCIP. And now in about 10 seconds, your stablecoin transfer has resulted in you settling a transaction with us for a tokenized fund. I really want the second one. The first one doesn't sound great to me. So if you make a highly reliable system for automating and proving the verification of things, and then you're able to put it on chain in a highly reliable, reusable, portable way, you can take that process of doing a transaction down from 2 to 4 months to 2 to 4 seconds. That's pretty valuable. And I think if we can successfully do that in collaboration with institutions, in collaboration with regulators, in collaboration with everyone that defines how compliance works, then actually the ability to do transactions that quickly and efficiently will become a massive feature of tokenized funds, real-world assets, stablecoins that doesn't exist in the traditional finance world. And so that is very exciting, and I think will be very positive if done correctly in our industry.
How it isn't just blatantly obvious to everyone that Chainlink is going to be a clear winner in regards to the cryptocurrency space, which will do well. I know we're all going through a bit of negative price action right now, but there are significantly brighter days ahead. I want to finish up just on the conclusion, and then I'm going to love and leave you. It talks about the LINK token, the Chainlink reserve asset, in a little bit more detail. But just to finish on the conclusion, in our view, Chainlink is poised for significant further growth. If major financial institutions will someday trade trillions of dollars of tokenized assets on decentralized platforms, Chainlink seems likely to be one of the projects standing at the center orchestrating it all. Chainlink has already become foundational infrastructure for blockchain-based finance and is especially well positioned for a future where smart contracts interact seamlessly with real world assets, data, and institutions by serving as the connective layer across multiple blockchains. Link isn't just tied to one network success. It provides broad exposure to growth of the crypto economy. Therefore, in our view, Link is one of the most important assets to consider when constructing a diverse crypto portfolio. I very much agree with that article, or report as it was. It literally came out yesterday. We wanted to share it with you. We've been a Link Marine for a hell of a long time. We're going to continue to be one because we just see value here. Not financial advice, just my own opinion. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Thanks everyone for watching. See you all in the next one.